The honourable member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, does the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, have a King's Counsel designation?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
What I would reiterate in terms of our previous interactions is that the notion of me appearing in an open court process would render an...
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Caribou Thompson.
Words in my riding that are public officials, so not sure that really has any weight. Does the Minister and Attorney General have a King's Counsel designation?
The Honourable Minister has 10 seconds.
Former Crown, he knows that even the mere appearance of the Chief Law Officer of the Crown could render potential suspicion of influence on a process, and that's why I would not appear during a live criminal proceeding.
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Do you have a King's Counsel designation, yes or no?
The Honourable Minister, 3 seconds.
Avoiding court appearances in criminal matters by politicians would also be...
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Nation. Does he have a King's Counsel designation, yes or no?
The Honourable Minister, a couple of seconds.
With respect to sub judice, the purpose is to protect parties in a case of waiting or undergoing a trial.
Member for Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Designation, yes or no?
The Honourable Minister.
And with respect to my appearance in court, you've heard my...
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
I will presume he does have a King's Counsel designation. Did he give one to himself?
The Honourable Minister, 4 seconds.
As the member opposite is aware, what I'd indicated is that I've not been involved.
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Will he just answer the question? Does he have a King's Counsel designation?
The Honourable Minister.
My job is to be addressing the safety of Canadians, and that's...
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Constable Pirjala's alleged killer have been detained on the bail law that he has lauded so many times today.
The Honourable Minister has 6 seconds on the clock.
Constable Pirjala's death was a tragedy, and it motivated us to act and act quickly, and I'm thankful for the support of that member in terms of the quick passage of that bill.
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Without looking at his cheat sheets, what are the tertiary grounds of detention?
The Honourable Minister of Justice has 4 seconds.
It is important always to be looking at confidence in the administration of justice.
I'm going to ask all members, please, order. I'm going to invite members, if they would like to have a conversation, please do so outside, but the Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou has the floor to ask questions. It's important that the Minister be able to hear that question and to be able to respond. The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Does the Minister of Justice have a King's Counsel designation? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister has 4 seconds.
I do not have a King's Counsel designation.
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
What was the minimum sentence for robbery with a firearm prior to Bill C-5?
The Honourable Minister has 5 seconds.
I believe it's covered by Section 457 of the Code.
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
344. But what was the mandatory minimum sentence for robbery with a firearm prior to Bill C-5?
The Honourable Minister has 10 seconds to respond to the question from the Honourable Member.
So it's 4 years for non-restricted or 5 or 7 for a restricted?
The Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
Did Bill C-5 eliminate the non-restricted mandatory minimum? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Dealt with a number of issues that relate to mandatory minimum penalties, including the overrepresentation of Indigenous and Black people in our justice.
Just to inform the Honourable Member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou that he has 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. The Honourable Member.
Is there still a mandatory minimum for robbery with a non-restricted firearm? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister of Justice, 7 seconds on the clock.
I've mentioned earlier in today's discussion, there remains a mandatory minimum penalty for people who are involved in a robbery with a restricted firearm of 5.
The honourable member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou.
I'm so glad he clarified that there's a mandatory minimum for robbing somebody with a restricted or prohibited firearm. Does the minister think that this is what goes through somebody's head? I'm going to go commit a robbery of that 7-Eleven. I'm about to, wait a minute, this is a restricted or prohibited firearm. Hold off, I'm not doing it. Does the minister think that's what goes through someone's head?
Honourable Minister has 20 seconds on the clock.
I think what's important to reflect on with respect to the mandatory minimum discussion is the words of Ben Perrin, the former chief legal advisor to Prime Minister Stephen Harper, who talked about, quote, MMPs are ineffective at reducing crime, may actually increase recidivism, are highly vulnerable to being struck down by courts as unconstitutional, can increase delays in an overburdened system, and perpetuate.
The honourable member has 5 seconds left on the clock.
Drive-by shootings, no mandatory minimums. You okay with that?
The honourable minister. I understand that the point of order is going to be raised, but I'm going to presume that the honourable member from Kamloops Thompson Caribou is asking a question through the chair. A very brief answer by the honourable minister.
What I'm very concerned about is the use of firearms in offences, and that's why we've taken significant action on assault rifles.